Hello! Welcome to All A Plus Essays. The best among the best. My name is Julie and I will be your instructor as we read through educational system questions. The article source is embedded in the video description below. Feel free to read along. Please note that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay for as little as $10 a page at All A Plus Essays. The link is in the description. 1. Briefly describe and reflect on the educational system of Japan and Singapore. A link with the US-Canada system will be most productive. Basically, educational system of Japan and Singapore are to a certain extent similar to American one, but, nonetheless, both countries have some distinguishable features that make it possible to speak certain advantages of their educational system compared to American one. First of all, it should be said that secondary education is compulsory in both countries, though in Japan students begin their education from elementary school and then proceed it in lower secondary school, while upper secondary schools is not compulsory. As for Singapore, after 6 years of primary education students enter secondary school where they study for 4 or 5 years, after which they can either proceed their post-secondary education or training. It should be pointed out that Japanese is a homogeneous country where ethnic minorities do not exceed 1%, consequently, cultural background and mentality of students and teachers is quite homogeneous too. Instead, Singapore rather resembles the US, but unlike American educational system, Singaporean one uses a different approach using multi-language schools that obviously contributes to the better integration of representatives of different ethnic groups who have defined quotas in schools and departments. Remarkably, all students in Japan and Singapore were uniform, that is basically motivated by the local mentality and the promotion of obedience and unity of community, while in the US individualism is prior. It is also worthy of mention that Japanese schools do not use external examination typical for American schools, instead they use internal examination. In general, the views on Japanese teachers and their methods vary from demand of rote learning and conformity to the shift of the role of teacher to instructing students. In this respect, it is worthy of mention that in Singapore, teachers widely use illustrations, at least, more often than in American schools. By the way, Japanese students also have an opportunity to attend after-school classes which can be either enrichment classes in such areas as music, art, etc. or supplementary classes in academic subjects. Finally, both Japanese and Singaporean students are more successful in maths than American ones because of different needs and mentality of local community. At the same time, it is quite noteworthy that Singapore educational system has developed an effective model of cooperation of education, state, and industries that helps better prepare students for their future professional life. 2. What education system does South Africa face? Speaking about educational system of South Africa, it should be said that the major challenge it is currently facing is inequality. The problem is that in the result of the policy of apartheid, white and non-white students are still in absolutely different position. If white students, as a rule, can benefit from modern education and study in the best schools, then non-white children often lack such opportunity. It should be said that one of the challenges that contributes to inequality is the language, since English schools provide better quality of education than Afrikaner schools. Furthermore, non-white students has basically 3 options: either receive education in their families, in community, or attend mode schools. The latter are not accessible for all students because of the remoteness, so that students cannot attend schools regularly. Finally, South African schools face the problem of financing, and many Afrikaner schools are not well equipped with computers and other essential equipment and materials. 3. Teaching abroad. Teaching abroad primarily implies a profound knowledge of the local culture and traditions. This is why it is primarily necessary to receive information concerning traditions, habits, and mentality of local population in order to be able to choose the most effective methods of teaching. Also, it is important to know how teachers who have such experience overcome possible language barriers. Finally, it is necessary to find out the most effective ways of adaptation to the local lifestyle, which may differ from the one I get used to. Bibliography. 1. Educational systems. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me. I hope you enjoyed learning about educational system questions as much as I did. Kindly remember that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay at All A+ Essays for as little as $10. The link is in the description. See you next time.